Now, if you're like me and you love dogs, you'll probably realize that they're some of the most tenacious and unbelievable animals to ever walk this planet. They really can make incredible comebacks. And today we have 10 of the best comebacks we've ever seen from street dogs in Thailand. You're going to have your mind absolutely blown and have a huge smile on your face by the end of this video. Number 10 on our list is Buster, an unbelievably kind and gentle dog, but not when we first saw him. We were told he was aggressive, dangerous, and very likely to bite us. So we had to approach him very gently. He was on a short chain, and we got him out of there, and we soon realized that he was a big goofball and a gentle giant. We took him to the vets. He had a lot of issues. His ear was so bad with congealed blood that we had to take it off. He also had skin issues, breathing problems, but we built him back up over a few months and he was eventually adopted. He lives with his mom Kitty now on an island called Phuket, and he spends his time going to play tennis with her where she's a coach. He goes on hiking adventures. He generally is a spoilt, big, gentle baby, and it just shows that you should never judge a book by its cover. Buster, an unbelievable recovery. Number 9 on the list is Brad Pitt, a dog that we found on the streets of Thailand. Actually took me 3 weeks to catch him with my friend Neil. It involved sausages and lots of treats, but he was very snappy and very aggressive towards us. And the reason for that was he had so much fur. It was all matted together. And once we got him in, we had to actually sedate him. And it took 6 hours to groom Brad Pitt in full. He turned into a different dog. His recovery took about 2 or 3 months to settle him down and show him that we were all friendly, and then it was time for his forever home. He headed off to Long Beach in California, and to see him now with his new family where they have 2 cats and a lovely partner who looks after him is just unbelievable. Brad Pitt is walking down the beaches in California and down the streets looking like the handsome movie star that he really is. Brad Pitt, really, really special dog. Number 8 on the list is Emma Stone. Now, if you could see her face when she first came in here, she was in absolute agony. She was neglected and left on a chain on the streets of Thailand. Her situation was really, really dire because you could see just how much pain she was in. She had holes in her back, there were little maggot eggs starting to grow in there, and in general this was a dog who must have been in absolute agony. Took us several months to build her back up, but she grew into a fantastic dog. We found her a lovely home with a very similar looking sibling, and if you saw the new Emma Stone versus what came in the first place, you wouldn't even recognize it as the same dog. We're so happy. Emma Stone has a beautiful life ahead of her. Number 7 on the list is Wacker, an unbelievable dog that I found on the streets of Thailand. Now, I got a call from a woman who was absolutely hysterical, and once I got there, I could see why. He had a massive cut down the middle of his head. Locals told me that it had been made by a pickaxe. He came within millimeters of losing his life, according to the vets. We were able to stitch it back up, and I've never seen a braver dog. Wacker never complained once, even though he must have been in agony. We built him back up. He started looking fantastic. He became like the top dog here at Happy Doggo. They all looked up to him. He was like a big brother to everybody. But we found him a home in Scotland. And after crossing the globe, he now lives with a lovely family and his little brother Cooper. And he's got his full title now, where he is King Wacker of Scotland. Number 6 on the list, Shaq. This is a dog who had a huge tumour on his neck. Now, when we first saw the pictures of this, I had to drop everything and go and save him immediately. He looked absolutely in agony and miserable, and he was. Once we got there, we saw that it was a huge growth that actually weighed over 1.5 kg, so over 3 pounds in weight, that was dragging his neck down and making his whole eye droop. He had at most a couple of weeks left, but on the streets, nobody was coming to help him. We got him in, and it was a huge procedure, so big that several vets said no, they wouldn't attempt it. It was much too risky. But we got him in for the first operation. It took a second operation, and I can always remember his cries when he stayed with me overnight after the operation. But over a couple of months, we built him back up, cleaned his wound, and he's now in absolutely beautiful shape. I often go down and visit him where he lives in a safe community. Shaq is a story that I will never forget, a remarkable comeback. Now, before we get to the top 5, one thing that would help us massively is if you hit the subscribe button. It takes 2 seconds and it really does help us make even more incredible rescues like these ones become reality. A little subscribe would mean the world to us. Number 5 is Hank. This is one big, gentle giant and an incredible dog. When we first found him, he had a huge hole in the back of his neck. Now, the hole could have been from being attacked by another dog, he could have cut it on a barbed wire, anything could have happened living out on the streets. But because nobody was caring for him, by the time we got there, the hole was so bad that it had thousands of maggots crawling in there. They were literally eating his skin alive. He wouldn't have had much time to live because those maggots were boring right down into his absolute flesh. So after being eaten alive, we got him into the vets. They cleaned it non-stop for a couple of weeks and we built him back up into an unbelievable dog. He's a big, gentle giant. He's a big brother. He's a house guard. He's a best friend. He acts as a nurse to the sick dogs. He really did have a very lucky escape. But Hank, what a recovery. Number 4 is Leonardo, a tiny puppy that we eventually got to save. A lovely local Thai man had been trying absolutely everything he could to save this dog. He'd been buying medicines, he'd been getting remedies, he'd been trying everything under the sun, but he just didn't have the knowledge on how to fix this gentle little puppy. We brought him in, we got him specialist care, we got him lots of baths, we got him antibiotics, we got him fungal creams, and over the course of 2 months, we built him up into an incredible dog and were able to return him to his owner. You should have seen the man's face when we brought him his dog back fixed. We often check on Leonardo. He's a wonderful dog, he's grown into a big boy, and even though it was a simple enough fix for us, it's changed his life. Leonardo, a wonderful, wonderful dog. Number 3 is Chance. What a special little girl she was. Now, she had a lot of problems. She had been stabbed multiple times in the body. Now, that was bad, but because she'd been stabbed, we found it nearly impossible to catch her. It actually took 2 weeks because she was terrified of humans, understandably so. Now, when we brought her in, we could see that she needed urgent treatment. So we unfortunately had to force her into that treatment. The first time was when she was sedated, but each time we had to clean the wounds. That poor dog was in absolute agony. She used to cower in the corners. She would not even be able to look at us in the eye because she was in so much pain and so scared of humans. It took us a couple of months to build her back up. I actually adopted her, which was an amazing stroke of luck for me, really, because she's turned into the most unbelievable dog who is a gentle soul. She loves playing, and even though she's an older lady, she's maybe 9 or 10 years old, she's settled into living in a house for the first time in her life like an absolute charm. Chance really is one of the most spectacular recoveries ever. Number 2, Little Faith and Phoenix. The first time that we have 2 dogs together on a list, because when we got the call out to them, we found them caged up. Now, these dogs were in the worst state you could ever imagine. I will never forget the smell coming out of those kennels. We first of all got them out of there. They'd clearly been used for breeding. They might have been related, but either way, these dogs were just in as bad a state as you can get. 2 tiny little fluff balls that nearly died in those cages and wouldn't have known a better life were it not for the wonderful people who adopted them. So after we got them fixed up, got all their medical care taken care of here, got their teeth cleaned, it actually took us 5 hours to groom them because the fur was like cement. But they ended up in their forever homes with Patsy and Melanie in Ireland, and you have never seen 2 dogs who are more spoilt, and rightly so. An unbelievably tough life for Faith and Phoenix starting out, but to see them now running around the streets and parks of Dublin is just the stuff of dreams. Now, if you thought those were crazy, number 1 is McMuffin. Unbelievable dog. Actually, one of the first dogs that we ever rescued. She was on the streets. She was handed to me by an old man who'd been trying to keep her alive after she'd been dumped out there by her family. Now, McMuffin had a lot of issues. First of all, she had cancer. She had 30 tumours across her body. She was covered in thousands of ticks. She had unbelievably bad anemia, and several vets told us that it was the end of the road. Now, I am not scared to say that I thought it might have been the end of the road for her as well. I went home and slept on it, and somehow the next morning when I came back, I had the decision made that maybe it wasn't the right time for McMuffin to fight, that there was just no hope. McMuffin looked me in the eyes and she said, "I'm ready for the fight." It took us 6 months to get McMuffin fixed. She did 12 batches of chemo. She was in the vets in emergency care for 2 whole months. Her bill was about $6,000, but we built her back up into the wonderful beagle that she is. She did lose an eye on the way because she had a very weak immune system, and glaucoma made us have to take an eye out, and she's had a lot of health battles along the way. But McMuffin was adopted into Germany to a lovely family who met her here in Thailand. And to see her recovery is the stuff of dreams. This is a dog who had maybe at best a 1% chance of survival. And there she is celebrating her birthday in Germany. A wonderful example for all of us to show that you might be down in life, but you are never out.